Well, guys, welcome to the Zapata Brand Boxing Podcast. And a late night tonight here, but lucky enough to have Rick Glaser joining us here on the podcast. Rick, how are you?
Great, George. Thanks for having me on this wonderful Tuesday night. Nice weather in the Northeast tonight,
It
considering the
is.
time of year. Yep.
It definitely is. Well, but speaking of things getting hot, you were one of those first people to report about this. Canelo Alvarez leaving PBC for what looks to be apparently the zone or Matchroom. In the next couple of days, it probably will be official. I would imagine it's official now, but he definitely is leaving. They have parted ways. He has parted ways with PBC. You were the first one to kind of tweet that out there. Hey, what do you know about it? What's going on with it?
It's just they were out of money. They didn't. Canelo and his attorney realized that Showtime was financing these shows. They didn't have Showtime anymore. The first deal was under Showtime. They had a contract with Showtime's name all over it. Okay, and there was no Showtime anymore. So they demanded their $35 million guarantee in an escrow account. And basically speaking, is they didn't have it. And then I announced that I had tweeted out that what's his name was going to announce it 2 weeks ago, and then he gave. But after I announced it, he came out and he gave what's his name PBC basically a 10-day extension to come up with the money. They of course didn't come up with the money, and he's gone. And I told everybody, listen, just relax, let it play out. Believe me when I tell you, he's leaving. People are insulting me, my heritage, my ethnic background, my religion, my family. They said, your father had to be smart. He had to be smart enough to not have your mother that birthed you. I don't know, all this crazy stuff.
What the hell?
And in the meantime, I says, guys, just calm down. I had some woman insult me, went on my inbox and insulted me. And I says, I'm telling you, it's true. Well, sure enough, it was true. I was correct. And, I broke the news Sunday night, and, it's gone viral, my comments on it and stuff like that. Like, people are asking on Twitter all over the place, because I was Googling it, on the Twitter part. And, who's Rick Glaser and all this kind of stuff. They don't even know. So, it was good. It was pretty cool, actually. It was like my day in the sun, 15 minutes of fame for a guy that does most of his work in the back room. You know what I mean? So it was pretty cool.
You've had a couple of those 15 minutes of fate, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
But
Showtime go announcing last December 22 that in the fourth quarter that they would
right.
of 2023 that Showtime be going out of business. September 22nd this past year, I announced Showtime was going out of business, and I knew before Steven Espinoza knew, so
Mhm.
he didn't know. It blinded him. He caught him. It blindsided him. He didn't even know. So I
Let
get
me
I get a lot of good information. This is what the difference is. What people aren't getting. Well, why do I have the information and not the journalists, the writers, reporters? Okay, here's why. I have access to 30 to 40 boxing executives, sometimes a day, that I talk to, or boxing attorneys, but definitely in a week, 30 to 40. No question. But sometimes even one day. So I get a lot of information that they're not privy to. Another thing is, I have a worldwide footprint. They don't. They know what's happening on the ground over here. I do business all over the world. My business is worldwide. 70% of my business is overseas. Okay. And
Mhm.
overseas is in Canada, Mexico, and Puerto Rico. Overseas is overseas.
Mhm.
So they don't people don't understand where I'm at, and the level I'm at playing ball with the big executives. Another thing is, they have me thinking that I'm a failed manager. I'm jealous of Al Heyman. I don't manage fighters. It's not my business. I have a business. It's called glazerboxing.com, and what it is I, s- I, s- I'm a 24/7, 365 worldwide provider of supplemental services to the professional boxing business since 1991. I just didn't roll out of bed and say, oh, I'm going to go in boxing yesterday. I've been doing this for 33 years. I've got some serious connections around the world. And people rely on me for advice. They pay me for advice. I broker deals daily. I settle lawsuits for people for corporate. My clients are promoters, TV networks, streaming services, casinos, online casinos. Attorneys are my clients. And media agencies are my clients. Okay, so understand, and boxing managers. I don't handle fighters. It's not my business to handle fighters, and people don't understand what I do. So they think I'm some kind of like, I don't know, bottom feeder, loser, whatever. I don't know what they think. Who knows? But in the meantime, I am what I am.
Yeah, and let me ask you a question on a business from a business perspective. Okay,
Sure.
you say that they didn't have the 35 million in escrow. Which okay, let's just put that to the side. But would this not be something if I was Al Heyman, okay, and contractually there was a 3-fight deal, they basically fed him the first Charlo because it didn't do well. It didn't do well. Okay,
Right.
he comes back, and none of those fights that were supposed to be in this contract, evidently, none of them were Benavidez to begin with. Okay. So whether he was fighting two other guys, another Charlo and somebody else, whatever. But as a businessman, if I'm shelling out $35 million as a guarantee, wouldn't I just say I don't have the money? You can go elsewhere.
I think they tried to save face, and it backfired on them. I'm talking about PBC. That's how I look at it. So I would think you're right, but I don't think they thought it was going to come to that, and the whole thing backfired. They didn't realize how serious Canelo was. They thought that there was weakness when Canelo gave him the 10-day extension to come up with the money. So they thought they saw weakness there, in my opinion, and it wasn't weakness. He was just being kind, and they mistook kindness for weakness, which was incorrect. So
Okay.
I think that's part of it right there.
But if you look back at when he was with Golden Boy, now we're going pre-pandemic. Okay. Golden Boy had to guarantee him a certain amount of fights. Same sort of situation. Obviously, Golden Boy's still around. You know, nobody could pay his guarantee. Nobody could. No one was doing fights. So, my only thing is, from a business perspective, whether PBC is in trouble or not, I mean, there's a lot of red flags there. Okay, but if I'm running PBC, I'm letting him walk because I don't even think he would get 1 million buys with any of the guys right now.
No, he's not getting a million buys. He would get 500,000 to 600,000. With
What would he get with Benavidez?
Probably about 750, probably about 750, maybe 800. But he's going to get that with Mangia. He'll get. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mangia is so hot. Let me tell you, beating Dovinchenko in the fight of the year, and then destroying John Ryder and knocking him out and had him down several times after Canelo went the distance with him. That put him over the top. He is, but people don't realize this. That bastard is I believe he's 44-0, and he was already junior middleweight champion 5 years ago, a WBO junior middleweight champ. Okay, and he couldn't make the weight anymore, gave up the title. He blew through 160 because he's a growing guy, and now he's a new 68-pounder. He's a big guy. So yeah, it's a fight. Let me tell you.
I think he's a 160-pound Ricardo Mayorga. I think he has got a lot of holes in his defense, and that's going to be his downfall there.
Oh, no. 100% he's got holes in his defense. Don't get me wrong. Oh, yeah. But he throws a lot of punches, and he takes a good shot, and he's gonna be in a war with Canelo. I'm telling you, that's a great fight.
Do you think that's coming in May?
It's gonna be him or Belanga. It's one of the two for me. I don't know. They're negotiating now. I don't know what they're going to do. One of the two. I haven't been in on it all day. I don't know the latest.
So it's totally, Charlo's totally out, right? He's totally out.
Oh, Charlotte's on vacation in Turks and Caicos, drunk as a skunk. he, he he's been out. He
Okay.
was never in. In reality,
to be honest with you, I thought they would feed him to get him to Munguia in September. I always thought Munguia in September, and then I actually thought in 2025, Cinco de Mayo they would put him and Benavidez there at the Sphere in Las Vegas. That was my thought.
Yeah.
Possibility still to this point, but my thoughts, and I don't know what you think of this. Do you think that Benavidez was just tired of waiting and he took this fight for 175 at 175?
No, I think he's having trouble making the weight.
Okay, so if he goes up to, he's going to 175. He fights that Ukrainian fighter, beats him, and then I would think he would fight the winner of the Beterbiev-Vol fight, unify the titles, and just kind of move on from Canelo. That's just my personal thought. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know the fighter. I don't. I haven't talked to his people. It's too hard for me to say.
Just why
I
wait?
wouldn't.
Why wait? Why wait for
Well,
Canelo?
that part's true, but I don't think either guy wanted to fight each other. To be honest with you,
Really?
I think it was a lot of hocus pocus malocus. Yeah, I think there was a lot of hocus pocus malocus. Yeah,
even
yeah.
Benavidez?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really?
I don't think he wanted to fight. Yeah, I think it was a lot of hocus pocus. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Absolutely.
Wow. So, other than that, from that point, where do you see the next? Where do you see PBC now in, let's say, 2 years? Because that's kind of.
I don't think there'll be. I don't think there'll be a PBC as we know it now in 2 years. There may be a PBC, but it won't be a Heyman organization, or it won't be under the same format it's under now. It'll be all different. There might be the words, the letters PBC being used, as a brand, but it'll be totally different. They're on Skid Row. They're the Skid Row now of boxing promoters. They're out of money. They're tapped out. They're just in trouble. That's all there is to it. There's nothing there. There's nothing home. There's nothing there. If they get some of these shows off that they do have planned now, it'll be a miracle. And if they don't make, it'll be a miracle. And if they don't make any money, it'll just shut down their demise. I just don't see them going much further. They're running. Jackson Brown's song. They're running on empty.
Yeah, well, the red flags are all there. I mean, even Eddie Hearn today at the press conference for them kind of, go actually at least, pivoting into something else, because you can't, because whether the Amazon contract is what it is, I don't know the details of it. There's no.
I'll give you the details. There's no money. There's zero money. They have to pay for their own production. PBC's got to pay their own production, which is about $500,000-$600,000 a show. And they got to pay everything. And the only thing Amazon's supplying is the platform, is distribute the pay-per-view, and they're supplying the marketing on the Amazon Prime app only. So in other words, they're not supplying it anywhere else on TV or anything else like that, just on their website. So they're not coming up with a dime, basically speaking. They have no cash outlay, and anything they make is a profit.
So that being said, to your point, why come out with Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman?
Because they have nothing else. They're running on empty. They got no money, and that's being partly financed by High Limit, the actual promoter, Tim Tszyu, the Australian promoter, High Limit. It's a father and son company over there, and basically speaking, the Australian pay-per-view numbers will basically pay for Tszyu, and he gets his own TV money. It has nothing to do with PBC. So he's got a deal. They got a deal with Fox. Called Fox Main Event, which is the pay-per-view arm in Australia, New Zealand of Fox, and it just he'll get that money, and they'll probably give him a base pay of like $1 million, and they'll probably give when he called $2 million, they'll try to make a profit plus the undercard and the other expenses. It won't make any money. They're doomed. Everything they're touching is turning to shit.
It seems to be that
they got a big black cloud over their head.
Yeah, it does.
Okay?
It doesn't.
Big dark cloud.
Doesn't seem to be going well. But as usual, Rick, I appreciate you coming on at a short time, and if you could next week, I'm looking to put together a show about the big Ngannou fight coming up. We'd love to have you on next week.
George, I like your format. You're a great guy, and I always like to help people that have their own little thing going on, not these mass productions and everything else. So you're on the way up, and you got me behind you. So don't worry about a thing. I'll be on your show next week. Okay.
Plus, I got the best bagels. Come on.
Well, thank you. By the way, the local bagel company got bought out, Bagel J's, and now they're going to be Brugger's Bagels around here.
No, they went franchise.
They got bought out. They got bought out. All 3 stores got bought out. They're going Brugger's Bagels.
Not good.
It's about a quarter mile from my house.
Wow,
my condo.
That's really
my
good.
condo, I should say. Yeah. So it's see what happens. We'll give them a try.
Well, when you're out this way, stop in. We'll take care of you.
I will. George, you got my number, and let me know about next week. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks again. I appreciate it.
Bye bye now. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.